Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Greetings of peace. Have you ever wondered, why is the front of your eye transparent? Well, to let light in, obviously. Hey, I think you're trying to ask, how is it transparent? First of all, what is the transparent part in the front of your eye called? It's called the cornea. And so you can see here, this is the right cornea highlighted in yellow. Where does the name cornea come from? Well, apparently it's Latin for horn, and they believe that it came from thinly sliced animal horns. I'm not really sure how authentic that is, but anyways, medicine is full of names with Latin and Greek origins. By the way, please, no cornea jokes. Alright, what does the cornea do? Well, its main function is not just to let light in, but it also bends light, or as we say, it refracts light, so that it focuses exactly on the back of your eye, and this is what allows you to see the world in sharp focus. Well, how does it actually bend the light? We'll talk about that in another video, but today we're going to focus on what makes it transparent, and there's actually a few amazing things about that, subhanAllah. Firstly is its microstructure. So it's made up of a protein called collagen. Well, collagen, as you can see here, is a protein that's arranged in strings or fibers. Now, its arrangement in the cornea is very unique, subhanAllah, and in contrast to its surroundings, it's even more amazing. So the whites of the eye, as you can see here, which we call the sclera, the whites are also made up of collagen, this exact same protein that the cornea is made up of. However, the whites of the eye, from their name, they are not transparent. The collagen is actually arranged more loosely and more haphazardly, and their function there is mainly for support. Whereas in the cornea, packing the collagen very tightly and extremely parallel to each other actually makes it refracts and reflects a lot less light, and it lets a lot more light through, and that's what makes it transparent. Here we have an amazing diagram of the eye, and you can see from the side, this is the cornea, this curved front transparent part. And if we zoom in and look at its structure, we can see right here in the middle, this is called the stroma. It's basically just the pulp in the middle of the cornea, and this is what contains the collagen fibers, which are arranged very parallel and very tight to each other, and this, subhanAllah, is what allows light through relatively unhindered, without much reflection or refraction, and that's part of why the cornea is transparent. Now, another very amazing reason for why the cornea is transparent is that on the inside of the cornea, so on this side right here facing the eye, if we look at it in more detail, you can actually see the inside-most layer here, which we call the endothelium. It actually has a layer of cells in it, and this layer of cells, their function is to continually pump water out of the cornea back into the eye. This makes the cornea dehydrated, and a dehydrated cornea actually is much more transparent. Now, if you're wondering, where did the water in the cornea come from in the first place, and why do you have a row of cells that have to keep pumping it out? Well, the inside of the eye is actually full of fluid, full of gel and watery substances, and these continually seep into the cornea and they're absorbed into the cornea, and so if you left it without pumping out this water, it would just get swollen and it would actually be a lot less transparent. And the third amazing reason, which you might have noticed from this diagram here, if we look at this stunning picture of the eye, subhanAllah, and you can see the cornea from the side very clearly, it's this reflective area here, you can see that the cornea has no blood vessels. And this is amazing, subhanAllah, because almost every tissue in the body and every organ has to have a continuous blood supply to bring in oxygen and take the waste away. However, if you had blood vessels crisscrossing the cornea, it will be like looking at the world through a net. And so, subhanAllah, the cornea actually doesn't have any blood supply. The cells in it receive their oxygen and their nutrients, and their waste is taken away by, firstly, the tear film that coats it on the outside, and we talked about that in our first video. And then on the inside, again, there's another layer of fluid which does the same function. It gives it oxygen and it takes the waste away. And now, let's reflect on this. Here you have a tiny, almost invisible part of the eye, yet it's full of bounties and gifts from Allah, and it's part of the amazingly well-designed eye, which allows us to see so clearly.
وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَغَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ.
That's all for now. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.